Well, we're still here at the dry tortugas, relaxing, enjoying the beautiful scenery. But we had a couple of mechanical problems with the boat. I'll show you now. Last night the high water alarm came on again and I had to unplug it.
Tuesday, February 10th. We didn't drag.
No, but we're getting the high water alarm situation figured out. So what I've found is that down here under the transmission is the lowest point where the bilge is. That's the bilge intake right there on the end past that red. And right next to it is this little electrical switch that turns the bilge on if water is sensed. That switch is bad because it's dry and it's out of the water, and if I plug it in, you can hear it, the alarm, and it's sucking. The alarm's upstairs, but so you may not have heard it, but you could hear it trying to suck. So I need a new high water alarm sensor. Well, I said it earlier that we were on the most remote part of our entire loop so far, over 5,000 miles. We were about 60 miles out in the Gulf/Atlantic towards Garden Key when our high water alarm went off. No cell service, no boats around, completely alone. So it was a scramble, but it was a relief to find that there's no water in the boat. It's not a water problem with the boat, which is a big problem potentially. It's just a switch, an electrical switch that senses water. It's gone bad. It's firing off when there's no water. So we'll have to go back without that emergency feature, but we'll be okay. We're not leaking any water.
What you doing now?
Well, we figured out the high water alarm and we were all good and happy until the breaker blew again. It's the same one we lost when we lost all of our outlets back on like up on the Tennessee River.
Oh no, it was way before that.
Before that, the Illinois River. Anyway,
yeah.
It's this GFCI main breaker that controls everything in the house. So we can't use the battery charger, the water heater, the outlets, the stove,
the fridges.
So I'm going to swap it out with the one from the AC.
Okay.
And we won't have AC until we get back and get a new breaker.
All right. Cross your fingers. That works.
Okay.
Because if we lose that breaker, then we're really up a creek. Okay.
All right, here we are at the Dinghy Beach on the island. Going to look at the fort here. All right, this is the moat, Fort Jefferson. Typical of the forts of the era. Big, huge gateway, arch. And then the center. Wow, this is a big one. This one's big. Look how far it goes out there. It's a massive fort. I don't think I've been in one this big before. Most of them are smaller. Dr. Mudd was imprisoned here. He was one of the conspirators in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. He was imprisoned here, along with other deserters and so forth, in this very room right here. And let me fender out there, straight out in the middle. that's one of the other boat. There's another swift trawler, big one. This bastions that stick out from the walls have howitzers that could shoot crossfire across the moat if soldiers attempted to cross the moat. Okay. Look at this big conch shell in the concrete. Because that's the last one for the day. Yeah. It's a view from the top up here. See how massive this thing is. There's big cannons. So this is a cannonball furnace. So they can make the cannonballs red hot in that furnace. They roll down over the fire. They roll down, get heated hot. They pull them out here and go fire red hot projectiles at wooden warships to put them ablaze. This is the beach, the swim beach, and so it said you can swim right around this outside and over to those pilings. So this is the campground on the island. We just met a young couple who's camping tonight on the island, which looks really fun. Different. Look at all those shells. This beach is made up of crushed shell. This feels way different than a normal sand beach. And the camp spots are in here. You can smell campfire. So this is the campground here at Garden Key.
I'm gonna film my
Cool. Allison has some treasures.
It looks like a leaf petal, a rose petal.
I know, it's a shell.
It's a shell.
Cool
So
colors
cool.
on it. Pearl and a couple of sponges. Very cool. It's Wednesday morning. We're still in anchorage here at Garden Key. Dry tortugas. It's filled up a lot. This big fisherman boat came in just a few minutes ago. We're pretty much the only motorboat out here this far out in the ocean. Mostly sailing vessels, as you can imagine why. We're limited on our travel distance due to diesel fuel, us motorboats. But anyway, the winds are calming down a little bit today, and we're going to go snorkeling hopefully when it warms up this afternoon. Okay, we're getting the dinghy all loaded up. We're going to head over there and do some snorkeling. It's a little breezy. Not ideal weather, but we're going to do it for a little while. Okay, let's go in.
Snorkeling.
Let's go in. We are snorkeling around here. Look at this beautiful water. With a lot of people and some waves, so it's a little murky, but it's pretty. Having fun. It was very interesting going along the seawall from the old fort and seeing the ruins, an old cannon barrel, which apparently they put many of the old retired cannons in the foundations over the years. And we also saw an anchor over there, this anchor, and just many of the old fragments from the old seawall and fort. We also were able to swim over to a bunch of old pilings that are in the water where there's an old coal loading dock where they used to use coal and store it for steamships, steam warships that would come down here. I believe the Maine came down here, the one that was sunk in Havana Harbor. Anyway, we saw lots of coral and other animals and growing. Saw fish, and the underwater pilings from the old coal dock were fascinating. So we had a fun time snorkeling for an hour or so. As we were swimming out, we got fairly near where the seaplanes come in and land and take off, as you will see. With the seaplane, I said we're right out here with the seaplane. Here goes Salty Mittens coming in to dry tortugas. How was it?
Fun.
You had a good
Fun.
Had a fun time?
Yeah.
Snorkeling? Yeah, that was fun. That pretty water. One of us. See them up there?
That way?
Yeah, that's them. water. Look at all these boats that have come into the anchorage tonight. When we got here, there were 4 of us. Several more over here too.
Oh yeah.
These are Goliath grouper. These fish can grow up to 8 feet long and have been reported up to 1,000 pounds. These are 6 feet long, probably 300 or 400 pounds. When we first saw them under the boat, they were so big, we thought they were manatees. Well, this is right behind our boat, under our boat here, dried tortugas. This water is crystal clear, as you can see. What a beautiful spot we have. I'm gonna go explore the reef. All right, we are on our way. Look at this big old bird. We are on our way to Loggerhead Key. This is dried tortugas. Rubbing fenders back here in the anchorage. We're taking our battery-powered dinghy across this strait, and there's the island of the lighthouse. It's 3.1 miles each way.
We just left the shallows. Now it's deep.
And now it's getting deep. We've never been more than 2.5 miles each way, 5 miles or 5.5 total. So Allison might be rowing us back. We're continuing on our dinghy ride. We are, I don't know, probably a mile out, a mile and a half. Loggerhead Key's over there, but we found this buoy. We think it's a dive buoy over a wreck, so we're gonna go look.
Looks like a log.
Well, we're out here in the middle, about 2 miles out from the fort back there, and you can still see the bottom right here. It's crystal clear. I don't know if you can see that. And we're getting there. Here we are, Loggerhead Key. You can see Fort Jefferson over there. And we're at the lighthouse. We'll go over there and find a place to snorkel on the reef. There's a couple of keepers' houses, solar panels, and some equipment there, which indicates they're still using the island, but we didn't see any people other than other snorkelers. We snorkeled for about an hour and a half over the Little Africa Reef, which was really fascinating with all kinds of debris. There are many recorded shipwrecks on this reef, so you never know if some of the debris you're seeing is from a shipwreck or from some other construction project in the past on the island. After snorkeling on Little Africa Reef, we came back across the island and took a walk around Loggerhead Key on the beach. Taking a walk on Loggerhead Key. Beautiful, beautiful day. Look at the colors coming out to the end here. Quite little island. We got back in the dinghy to go find a shipwreck. We have passed Loggerhead Key. You can see the Fort Jefferson way in the distance. Loggerhead Key Lighthouse. We're going out into the Atlantic here, trying to find a shipwreck that's supposedly out here. I see the mooring ball that's supposedly near it. So we're gonna go check that shipwreck out and see if we can dive to it. Well, we found this shipwreck, the Norwegian Avanti, which sank January 22nd, 1907 while en route to Montevideo, Uruguay from Pensacola. It was an iron-hulled, three-masted ship built in 1875, and it had a length of 261 feet. Here's the ruin from the wreck where it hit this reef, along with many other shipwrecks here. You can see the top sticking up of this ship. I'll post the stats here if you want to pause and read them, but it had a beam of 39 feet, a draft of 17.5 feet. Hence, it hit this shallow reef. The water here is around 10 to 15 feet deep. After exploring the wreck, we took the dinghy and pointed it back 4.5 miles towards the island. Kind of feels like we're castaways out here in a life raft on the water. Luckily we can see an island there and the Fort Island over there. Look at this beautiful water. For reference, this e-propulsion 1.0 Plus, I believe it's called, the battery used 60% to go approximately 9 miles today round trip. Our dinghy ride back to the boat. This big beautiful yacht came in and anchored here outside the bay. Deeper water. Look at this crystal clear water.